Good morning, class. My name is Jeremy. We're going to be talking about the port and helix injection pump and how the fuel system works.
The fuel system consists of an external fuel tank, right about here, and a supply transfer pump, a primary filter, secondary filter, injection pump, injectors, injector tubing, and return lines. Fuel is drawn from the tank here through a primary filter, which blocks out particles larger than 25 microns. The transfer pump, which can be either a diaphragm or a plunger style, they are both self-regulating and can be run off the injection pump camshaft. The diaphragm produces about 10 psi and the plunger style has a 25 to 30 psi. The transfer pump here turns low pressure to high pressure and then pushes the fuel through the secondary filter, which blocks particles up to 5 microns, and then goes up to the injection pump, which is machined to 1 to 3 microns. And then the fuel enters the pump through a fuel gallery, which is here, and fills the barrel which through the spill and inlet ports. As you crank the engine, the spring in the governor, which is over here, holds spring tension in the governor holds the pump to a full fuel. The pump is turned half the crankshaft speed. The pump has two main components that are the barrel and the plunger. This here is the barrel, which has the inlet port and a spill port. This is a control sleeve, which is in there too, which has gears. And this is the plunger, which, if you see, has a helix cut into it with a vertical groove and an angular groove. It also consists of having a rack, which is here, delivery valve, which are here, and this here is your mechanical governor. The plunger has a helix cut machined into it, which also forms a vertical groove and an angular groove at the base of the helix. So if you look, right there is the helix cut in the barrel, and there's the vertical groove right there. The barrel is located in the pump, which this is the barrel right there in the middle, which has intake ports and spill ports drilled so that they're above the plunger. The plunger is keyed right here to the control sleeve, which is right there as it goes in there, which has a gear wheel machined right here into it. The control sleeve meshes with the rack, which turns the plunger. Which here's the rack here where it's machined onto there. The plunger has a constant stroke because it rides on the cam lobe lift right here. It is constant. And a variable end because of the helix cut in the barrel. Back is controlled by the governor. The governor has two flywheels fixed to the gear. So these are your flywheels here and here. They're fixed with a gear that rotates with the pump's camshaft, which is down here, to a spring, which is here in a sleeve. The spring tension here holds the fly weights towards the shaft, which is full throttle. As the camshaft rotates, the flyweights, rotates a centrifugal force, causing the flyweights to move right here. Should the engine speed drop due to increase of load, the centrifugal force acting on the flyweights will decrease, allowing the spring here to push the sleeve along the shaft, and this will move to increase full fuel. This will move the rack, which will turn the control sleeve here and plunger to increase the fuel for the engine. On the other hand, should the engine speed increases, the centrifugal force pushes the flywheel outwards, so like so, out, which you can see the rack moving, flywheel outwards, which moves the rack, control sleeve, and plunger in the opposite direction, and fuel is decreased. So as the plunger moves up the cam lobe, this will fill. This is your fill or charging cycle. As fuel comes in, your spill ports here and here. So this chamber here above the plunger is filled with fuel. From here, the plunger continues up past the spill ports. This is called port closing. The plunger continues to build pressure, which lifts the delivery valve off its seat, overcoming spring tension in the valve. This is the delivery stage. As the plunger moves until the helix cut of the plunger uncovers the spill ports, pressure is lost, the delivery valve returns to its seat, and the plunger continues the rest of the stroke, and the remaining fuel returns to the gallery by an annular slope. After the fuel passes the delivery valve, the fuel is moved to the injectors by heavy-walled, right here, heavy-walled seamless steel tubing. So high-pressure fuel lifts the needle off the nozzle assembly by a tapered surface on the bottom of the needle, overcoming spring tension around 2500 to 4000 psi. The fuel then is sprayed into the combustion chamber. The injectors are remote and hydraulically activated. When pressure goes down, the spring tension closes the needle, and the remaining fuel is then returned to the tank. The fuel injection pump over here, this is the return to the tank from the fuel injectors. Over here we have what is called the overflow valve, and that is the fuel injection pump also has an overflow valve that controls the pressure in the fuel supply circuit and allow excess fuel to return to the tank.